Jacksonville Jaguars. They have them at almost 10 wins, 9.7 to be exact. And I have the Jaguars at 9-11. So we're right in the same ballpark there. That's a good thing. And I kind of look at the Chargers and Jaguars. I said that in that live stream too, of like kind of similar output teams, what we can expect. Let's see what they have to say into why they believe that 10 wins is going to be their outcome. You'll see the Titans projected to finish behind the Jaguars in the AFC South have a higher ceiling. Let me explain. If the Jags offensive line can withstand the 4 weeks, it will be without the suspended Cam Robinson and then settle in once he's back. It dulls the question my model raises about the team's defense giving up explosive plays. I know that might sound confusing, but the offense, and Trevor Lawrence specifically, really works well when play action is humming, which means the run game needs to be productive. If the O-line can hold up its end of the bargain, the offense will carry the team and control the piece. The thing that we've seen with the Jaguars last season is that they made a lot of mistakes. And when you're making a lot of mistakes, you're going to have a higher and higher chance each mistake to lose the game. And when that's going on, that will hinder the amount of wins, hinder your chance to go into the postseason, and you have a lot of holes that need to be fixed for the next coming season. And there's no denying that at all. And so it can be challenging. And I think that the Jaguars did do a lot in the offseason, not necessarily player-wise, but they can do a lot that can change the offense, what they need to work on by having this whole season off. And I feel like this is a pretty good prediction. 10 wins, and that's kind of where I have them at too. Like, I have them in the 9-11. I'm predicting the 10 wins as well. Like, I will openly agree with that. So let's see, Chargers, and they have the Chargers a little bit lower than Jags, and I mean, I have them right in the same category, right? Because I'm having those like 3 outcomes in one category, right? They have their ceiling at 11, they have their Jaguars ceiling at 10, floor 7.8, so they're looking at the Chargers and Jaguars to be similar as well, and that's kind of where I'm at. I feel like the Chargers have a better chance to get that 11 category than the Jaguars do, but I also believe that they are more or less just in this category. Chargers, the next 3 teams are separated by extremely slim margins, as you can see. As for the difference between the Chargers and the Dolphins, it really comes down to their week 1 matchup being slightly tipped in favor of Los Angeles in the model. Should Miami win the game in SoFi Stadium, switch the Chargers and Dolphins in the rankings. So they're kind of coming down to the week 1 matchup. And okay, so it's coming down to one game why they're picking. And I can kind of agree with that. I mean, like, it's one game. That's why it's like 9.3, but I predict the Chargers to do more so what they have the Jaguars doing, but with their ceiling, keeping their ceiling, but their overall wins being a little bit closer to that 10 mark than the Jaguars. Cleveland Browns. So they have the Browns at 9.3. So they're really predicting the Browns to get about 9 wins. I'm predicting the Browns to go in that 3 to 5 category. They're predicting their ceiling to be 10. There's a ton of upside on this team, but playing in such a talented division makes for more nail-biter games, closer to the 50-50 odds of winning. If the Browns can win at least 3 of their 4 matchups against the AFC South teams and at least 2 of its 3 contests against the Bears, Broncos, and Jets, they will trend more to the ceiling. So here's the thing. The Browns have a decent team, a fair team. The problem is, it's the Browns. And then they're in a tough division where the Steelers are trending upward. The Bengals, last season, they came out of the gate really awful, but started doing very well. And then the Ravens are the Ravens. So, and they do well. They do all right until they're injured. And so they do have a tough division there. And they're trying to say that the Bears, Broncos, and Jets are good contending teams. The Bears and the Browns might be a good matchup. Honestly, I could kind of see that. I think the Browns would probably be able to beat the Broncos. And the Jets, that all depends on that chemistry that has been created at the Jets. Is it good, or is it still got to boil? So we could see there, but I have the Browns at 3-5. I think them going for that 9 wins could be possible, but not probable. Miami Dolphins. They have the Dolphins at 9.3, and I have the Dolphins. Where did I put the Dolphins? At 12-14. Whoa, I put the Dolphins way too high. I should have put the Dolphins in the 9-11. I should have put the Dolphins in the 9-11. I'm not going to change it now, though. So they have the Dolphins at 9. Man, I feel like they could do a little bit better than that. Obviously, I put them in the 12-14. If I could go back and change it, I would change it to 9-11. But I would say more towards that 11 side. They did good. They have good offense. Their problem is Tua cannot get injured, and their defense needs to step up. You can't just try to outscore every game. That's just not going to happen. Even the Chiefs' defense that lacks, they know when to step it up and make the stop when the stop is needed. Jalen Ramsey's knee injury takes a chunk out of Miami's projected win total, as he is expected to be out until December. If Tyron Armstead and Jalen Waddle are not 100%, each missed time in the preseason with injuries, that would be also problematic, especially since, as I mentioned earlier, the Dolphins' Week 1 game against the Chargers has a potential playoff implications. This could be true. But I still think that the Dolphins have a better chance of winning that game than the Chargers do against each other. I think Jalen and Tyron will be good. Hill will still be good out there. As long as Tua doesn't get injured, I think they're going to be a fair contending team. They're not going to be Super Bowl contending. They don't have a good enough defense for that. But I do think they could be a contending team, and I think 9 is a little touch too low for them. Pittsburgh Steelers, they have them exactly at 9, and I have the Steelers at 9-11. So we're right in the ballpark there. I believe that the Steelers have a good chance of maybe going 10-11 wins versus the 9-10 wins. And they're having their team having a really tight margin. So they have the team potentially doing worse than what they said they is. With a lower ceiling too, so they only have the team capping out at 1 more win than what they're predicted and going like 2 losses down. If Kenny Pickett is going to take this step forward, many of us are anticipating the O-line will need to do a better job of supporting the offense. The Steelers made moves this offseason to address the front 5. That group's play will go a long way towards deciding how things will go for the Pittsburgh's offense. By the way, I tracked TJ Watt in person during the Bills-Steelers preseason game. His first 3 steps off the line of scrimmage were faster than they were the 2 seasons ago. He's a Watt, man. He's electrifying. That's just all you need to know about it. Steelers are a trending upward team. I think putting them at 9 is a little low. I do think 9-11 is right, but to predict them to go 9 exactly, I think that's a little low. I'm predicting them in that 11 range.